As you can see, I'm surrounded by some spiffy-looking gentlemen. They're part of the group No Chains, and the interesting thing about them, they're all veterans of the armed services. Welcome to Turning Point, gentlemen. Let me just go around and find out who's who. What's your names, though?
My name is Ken Vernon.
Ken Gary.
Harry Nash.
I'm Herb Hunt.
Jeff Parker.
GEAN ALSTON.
Now, I've got to ask, how did you first get together? But before I ask that, it feels odd. We're all alike except for... What happened?
Every organization and group has an oddball, and that's our oddball.
Now, let me ask, how did the group get together?
The group formed together. We are all veterans of the armed forces, as you already stated, and we formed about 2 years ago. Just so happened that God put us all in the Washington, D.C. area together. But we've known each other in and out for almost 30 years, singing in different parts of the country as well as overseas together.
Right. Now, earlier on, you were talking about you're one of the founding members of the group. And,
yes.
And you've sang with different members of the group some 30 years ago.
Yes. 30 years ago, myself and Herb Hunt sang together. We were on active duty in the United States Air Force. We were in a place called North Dakota, Grand Forks, and we sang together. Move up almost 20 years, I meet Harry Nash over in Korea in 2004, 2005, and we sang together. He's also my beloved fraternity brother. I meet GEAN in 2005 in Korea, and we sing together. We're all retired from the military, ended up in the Washington, D.C. area at the same time. When we sang together, we had an agreement or a like interest that we wanted to record a gospel CD and form a group. And when we decided to form the group, called all of these guys that I knew were in the area, and we put this group together.
Now, it's interesting you mentioned we met in Korea and all these different places, but it strikes me that it's an amazing thing that you're still here, because I'm sure there must be people you knew who were in the armed forces who are not with us anymore. What are some of your experiences of your faith coming to practice whilst you were in the armed forces?
I could tell you, I was over in Iraq, and just a realization there, you know, we were being mortared a lot.
Sorry, when you say mortared a lot, what do you mean?
The insurgents were firing mortar rounds into the bases, into where the forces members were. And they were distinctive. You can hear the sound when they were coming close. And even though we had the air raid signs and warnings, a lot actually hit the compound and hit where we were. And on one occasion, that distinctive sound was heard, and all I did was say, Jesus, in your hands. And immediately, if you ever shut yourself in a closet, that feeling came over me. I heard the explosions, I felt the sand particles, but I'm still here. So that's that faith.
So your father was also in the armed forces. What was it like being they called you earlier on, Army brat?
Well, my father served 2 tours in Vietnam, and he was a Army Special Forces. And he spent a lot of time away from the house. But at that time, me and my mom and my brother, we were there. We were holding on tight. And when he came back, it was always a joy. But through that, we found Jesus, and we stood by and we hung together while he was away, praying for him while he was gone until he returned.
But, you know, whilst we've been standing here talking, it's just been terrible, because you guys are laughing about everything. I'm like, what's wrong with these men? While souls are perishing, they're laughing so much. What's it like working with these gentlemen?
It's a laugh. It's a laugh. I mean, it's great. It's really great. Like you said, we've been together on and off for a long, long time. So, yeah, it's a laugh. We have always got laughter going on.
So for you, when you when you sing the songs, you record it, is it originals that you prefer or covers that you prefer of other people's songs?
We prefer originals. GEAN and Ken wrote the songs on the CD, and they're excellent writers and stuff, so we follow their lead, and the songs are really good. And all the songs have a meaning. They have a true meaning behind them. So that's the reason why we love it too. So, and we all get together, and we're working on a second CD where we all collaborate together and start writing too. So. Okay.
Ken, what's the most exciting part of being a part of this group for you, apart from the fact that you lot just have too much of a laugh? Listen, it's too funny what goes on here. You should, I mean, you should stop smiling. It's terrible.
Well, that's the main part. We're a brotherhood. we have the same interest. We love God, and we want to show others how we love God, and we are men of God.
Ken, let me ask you, because I must confess, when they told me about the group and they said armed forces, the first thing I thought, oh my God, they all know how to shoot guns. For those who don't know what it's like to be in the armed forces and just have the cartoon pictures in our head and the romantic notions, what's it really like serving your country in these different places that you've been?
Well, it was indeed an honor to serve your country, first of all. But a lot of people who are not affiliated with the military, they get just like you said, they get the wrong impression about the military. Serving your country is truly an honor. We're trained, very well trained. You know, discipline is the main thing in the military, and you take that with you everywhere you go. But there's one thing that you cannot leave out. You cannot leave out God. You have to have God. We've been in a lot of different situations where it was only by the grace of God that we made it out. And Gene spoke of a situation. He didn't tell you the whole story, but it was pretty dramatic what he went through over there. All of us have not experienced those types of things, but we've been separated from family for months, years at a time. And we've had situations happen back at home that sometimes being in the military and being involved in a situation, you can't readily get away and go home and be with your family. So you have to deal with those types of things. And the only thing that helped you through that is the love of Jesus. That's it.
Now, gentlemen, I have to say it's been a joy meeting you, but I think there's an ache in your camp, because since you haven't come to London, God has been stopping you coming to London. It could just be because of the man with the hair. So I'm just saying, can I audition for this group?
Absolutely.
And maybe he can be our prayer warrior back at home.
That'll work. Absolutely.
But before we finish, I wonder if you could, there were nicknames that you had for everyone. Pet names you had for. I wonder if you could introduce each one of them for me. We've only got about 60 seconds. So,
Not a problem,
So we
sir.
start from Pastor
Over
Ken.
here to my left, we have Kenny Vernon, which we call Shave It Ruffin. Okay, we have Kenny Gary here, and he is Stank Sinatra. Okay, we have my friend here, Herb Hunt. Okay, and he's Hetty Kendricks. Hetty Kendricks.
Hetty Kendricks.
Yes, and we have Theodis Redding. Okay, it's Jeff Parker. And then we have, of course, Gene ALSTON as Chokey Robinson.
Okay.
And, of course, my nickname is Menzel Washington. Here we go. Here we go.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on Turning Point.